I feel like death. Like, oh my god. I had a blankie over here. Okay, I'm super sick. But then I went out to venture for popsicles. I don't have COVID. I have an infection. I'm super sick. But then young Jeezy said to listen to Thug Motivation 101. And so I did in my car in my garage. And I think my neighbor thought I was trying to commit suicide. I was not. I was saying I'm not doing my civic duty if I don't put out a video and talk about things. And I need to talk. God damn. Okay, I need to get a blankie. I need to put something on my face because I don't look human. And I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds. And I know we need to talk about the Snyder Cut. And I know we need to talk about things. But we're going to talk about Mystery Men. And we're going to talk about Xmen. X2. Okay? Because that's what I feel like talking about. Because I'm sick as shit. So give me a moment. Small pause. Hey, microphone. Me and my microphone, I like him. He's my new best bud. What's up, Gus Ring? To anybody who thinks I hate Targaryens, in your face. Oh, I got a Vagar on the back of my phone. I should have done a moon prism power, shouldn't I? This look is brought to you by bladder infection, sleeping 17 hours, and Marc Jacobs. What the fuck is down there? Okay. I've slept like 17 hours. I haven't had a monster in 2 days. Where are my Final Fantasy people at? Like, for real. Because that's what I need in my life. If I keep taking this blanket on and off, it's because I have a fever. I'm getting chills. But, okay. There's just a little movie that's close to my heart. And I watched it so many times that I ruined the DVD. I kid you not. I ruined the DVD because I burned it out. And that was X2, X-Men United. I stand by that the Tobey Maguire second one, and I know everybody says this, every channel says this, every article says this. I am so excited for Doc Ock, which is the second villain in the second movie of the trilogy of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That movie's perfect. But, like I said, I am an X-Men person. I'm not going to say I love Spider-Man, and I know it's going to cause a problem. I like Spider-Man. My mom loves Spider-Man, but that's not my guy. But, X-Men, yes. I just want to talk really quick, because if you read comics, where I'm not a, and I've said this before, I don't know everything when it comes to comics, when it comes to books, and Lord of the Rings, and The Dark Tower, and anything Stephen King, essentially, back when he was doing Drugs or Not, I Still Love You, Game of Thrones, or A Song of Ice and Fire, like, Harry Potter, like I said, that's in movies and books and shit. I'm a casual comic book reader, but the truth is, comics have some fucked up shit in them. And so if you go back, and I'm not hating on Disney, I'm really not. Like, even though I know they're a huge monopoly conglomerate, like, what the fuck, I get it. But they saved Marvel. They did. And what they've done is miraculous. And I've talked about that before. Connecting everything, just how the care they've put into the characters. But I was born in 1992. So I remember, so the first Iron Man came out in 2008. So I would have been going into high school when that came out. And it was like, we were not saying that this has to happen all the time. But there's a reason why the Falcon and Winter Soldier series said they're going to go in a Daredevil way. I was shocked because I love Bucky. And I'm going to go into a whole Manchurian Candidate thing tomorrow. I might throw up on camera. I should have gotten a bucket. But anyway, back when I was younger, there's too much leather. I understand that. I wish we would have got their comic book costumes. I know. But The Matrix fucked that up for all of us. So blame them, because it was so popular and they thought, let's just go with leather for everybody. So I wish we would have got the X-Men costumes. But Nightcrawler's my favorite. And not only just because he's my favorite, that opening scene in X2 this isn't what I meant to start off with. See, this is the fever talking. I'm really sorry. Back to being on topic. We had, like, all the way until Disney bought Marvel, we had Captain America shooting people with guns. We had Tony Stark lighting motherfuckers up, and it was a story about why we shouldn't be racist assholes and why the war in the Middle East was wrong. And it's like, I think people have lost sight of that. And I know that Joss Whedon is in a ton of trouble right now for his bullshit. But I'm just saying, like, that first Avengers, there's some messed up dialogue in that. There's some, like, serious like, when he's talking to Black Widow, and then even, like, the Black Widow scenes in Ultron, and she has to have her lady parts taken out. Like, Black Widow is not a fun story. Like, I'm super excited for it, but it's dark. It's sad. It's scary. It's fucked up. It's an assassin. She's an assassin. Like, what is nice about that, Disney? And it's not all. And what I mean is, like, we pivoted from taking out humans to, it was always a CGI army of creatures and a CGI this and a CGI, and it's like, I love it. Like, I love the first Avengers. I think it's great. I just rewatched it. It's super fun and awesome. And like I said, that's before Disney bought it. Not hating on what Disney did, but I'm just saying, I'm watching my favesies, X2, and that Nightcrawler scene in the beginning of him going through the White House is so well done and so good and so, like, realistic for what really could happen. Like, if there really were mutants and people and shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, we weren't killing just CGI armies. No, we were going to war with feds. We were going to war with police. We were going to war with other humans, and it made the stakes higher. And I feel like it made the stories better. And a lot of comics are like that. And it's like, and they are story. Just saying, it made the stakes higher. I really, really don't feel good. But yeah, so the Nightcrawler scene, it's fucking flawless. It's fucking amazing. And like I said, that is something that's like, if this was a real world, damn, that might be something that goes down. The amount of guns. Like I said, I love that they brought the guns back in WandaVision, and that was a call out to Magneto, who is her father in the comics. And that's what he does, Homo sapiens and their guns. And that's not in X2, that's in the first Xmen, but still, like, there's guns. It's very real world. It feels real. If you are not watching Succession on HBO, it's the best show on television. I don't care that it only has 2 seasons out. I don't care that production got halted. Succession with Brian Cox, my main man, who reminds me of my Uncle Tom, is a boss. And Brian Cox in this, and his entrance, everybody's entrance in this is great. Charles Xavier's entrance is great. Magneto's entrance is great. Mystique's entrance is great. But William Stryker, Brian Cox, the bad guy in X2, who ends up working for the government and setting it up to make it look like mutants are bad. And that's the best part about mutants, is, like, it can be about civil unrest. It can be about sexual orientation. It can just be about being different. It's the minority. There's so much you could say with that without hitting us over the head with an obvious metaphor. And that's the best part about mutants, is, like, and we need them right now. We need it right now. We really do, because it's the enemy is inside. It's not mutants, and it's not regular people. It's people trying to pit us against each other. And it's like, I feel like right now we kind of need that more than anything. And I don't want to make my channel political. I do have my own views on things, but I've said this before, I just want to have fun on here. And if you guys want to chit-chat about serious stuff, we can, but we will do it in a debate, speaking type of way. We are not going to fight with each other and say dumb shit, and then I have to eviscerate you and make you look stupid in my comments or whatever, because I will, if you want to start acting a goddamn fool. Because I got people doing it on Facebook already, and it pissed me off. So, back to Xmen 2. Brian Cox, you're a boss. I love you. I would hang out with you any day of the fucking week. Go watch Succession, everybody. And I never really picked up, because I probably was a kid, that he knows that Senator Kelly's fucked up. He knows that's Mystique. He might not know it's Mystique, but he knows that's a mutant. He's like, some shit is up with this bitch. And he fucking knows, because his son's a mutant, and blah, blah, blah. The music in it is fucking perfect. Like, it's so well done. And I understand there are issues with Bryan Singer and all that, and I do not support that motherfucker. I'm just saying, guess what? This was great. And guess what? This is where Kevin Feige started with Blade and the X-Men series, and the reason we have the MCU is because of these movies. I just miss having cigarettes and fucking Wolverine smoking cigars and people getting stabbed, and it felt, and it was like intense and felt real, like I said. And like I said, the introductions in this are so well done, with Charles Xavier coming in after freezing everybody in the mall, in the food court, the Iceman, Logan coming back to the school. Oh, one of my Usagi buns is coming out. Like I said, I'm not feeling good today. Not at my best, but whatevs. Oh, it's really hanging. Here, come here. Okay? We're gonna call it okay. It's not, but... Oh my God, Jesus. I shouldn't drink this, but I need it. Oh, I do like, I fucking love Magneto. I really do. And I like that when they first show him in his plastic cell, that he's reading the once future king. And then at the end of the movie, Charles Xavier is teaching to his class the once future king. And it just shows like how fucking... They're just the best. They're the best. And Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart are so good. But yeah, no, I miss the realism of it. I really do. And let's talk about Mystique really quick. Because if you think Jennifer Lawrence was a good Mystique, or what? No, Rebecca Romijn was a fucking G. She was awesome. She was like reptilian. And by the second, because she's a model. And I've watched all the extra footage, and I've watched all her interviews and stuff, and she was like, no, they walked in and said, we need a model because we're going to be doing 8 hours of makeup on you, and we're going to be constantly touching you up with brushes, and it was like something that an actor really wouldn't be used to at the time. So you have to remember, this is the early 2000s, like early-ass 2000s. So she was a great Mystique. She totally got hoed out of that part, and I understand that they had to get a different one, but... I'm hoping with this multiverse shit, with the MCU, get the fuck rid of Jennifer Lawrence. She was a bore. She was a snore. I don't want anything. She was horrible as Mystique. The whole arc they made, all those movies sucked. Besides, was it Days of Future Past? I can't remember. One of them was good. Apocalypse sucked. And then when she's like, just get the fuck out of here, you know? Like, she was horrible. Jennifer Lawrence was horrible. And Rebecca Romijn got hoed, and she was a badass. And... they said that she did, like, all her own stunts and shit on the first two. And that means, like, all that jumping through her chains, all that fucking fighting with Wolverine, all of that. Like, and like I said, in X-Men, she didn't have as many speaking roles, and she does turn into other characters, so those other actors come in. But still, she had this way of... It's the same as watching somebody who doesn't put the work in for an action movie, and it shows, and then you watch something like Kill Bill, where... Uma Thurman put the work in, and the way she walked was like an assassin. The way she looked was like an assassin. The way she moved was like an assassin. And I felt like Rebecca Romijn really got into her flow in the second one, and really was like reptilian. And she's got some. I'm gonna get into some of the best lines in this fucking movie, but. Yeah, I have literally these. I could read my notes to you. And thank you everybody for all these little books you gave me, because now they're coming in handy. I just have Storm is a bad bitch, first and foremost. And all I wanted was, and I know it's so sad with Chadwick Boseman passing away and everything. It really is. It broke my heart when I heard that. But all me and my friend Brad wanted, hi Brad, was for Storm to have her own, and me and the guys at work were talking about this one night, because I didn't know one of them was like a comic book guy, and I was like, no, I want Storm to have her own movie, or like kind of her own thing, and then have either Black Panther or whoever in Wakanda run into her and be like, who the fuck is this bitch, and kind of have them square off, because she's an African princess of, I'm just saying princess because it's easier for the average person to understand. I know there are different titles and everything, but Storm's a bad bitch, and I really wanted her to get, like, if they'd give her a solo movie, that'd be awesome, but I know they won't. But that's what I really wanted, was for her to run into Black Panther and be like, so it'd be cool to see her run into Shuri or run into, if they're going to bring Michael B. Jordan back and run into Killmonger, that would be awesome to have them go toe-to-toe. I would love for them to bring back Killmonger and to hear the conversations him and Magneto would have. Okay? Literally, I just have Storm as a bad bitch. And I said, still too much leather. Then I have music underlined once again, like, oh my god. And then this is what I mean by the stakes and how real it was, even though it's mutants, was the government coming into a school, which I believe would happen if they thought it was a threat, and they are attacking children in their sleep, in their beds, and that is scary, and the only one left to defend them is Wolverine and the children. And that scene, and I know that people gave it flack for not having Colossus in it enough, but that scene where Colossus comes in and they're shooting children. Can I say that again? We are shooting kids in their school. And that scene where Colossus comes in and is picking kids up and then turns metal and they're all lighting him up and he's like, yeah, get the fuck on. Like, I loved it. Like, it's just, also, when Wolverine and Iceman are having their little thing in the kitchen, we don't say soda here. We say pop. So that irked me. But I do love the scene. But like I said, all the introductions are great, especially with their powers. Like when he blows into it and turns it cold for him, and then Wolverine turns around and he says, be quiet. And then that's when he realizes some shit is going down. And literally, he's the only adult there to protect these kids. My notes are just like, God damn, Patrick and Ian together are so good. And honestly, I know that people had issues with Hugh Jackman, and I was explaining this to my mom, but he is a great Wolverine. But I do understand where we want this 5'5", small, angry guy. Like, I do understand where we would, but he is a great Wolverine. And just the chemistry between all the characters is great. But then again, it speaks to the caliber of actor they had. Ian McKellen, Brian Cox, Patrick Stewart. I'm not taking anything away from Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry, or anybody else. I'm just saying they had some people to work off of, is all I'm saying. Oh, and this is just like a fun little thing, is like they really do kind of have this Hannibal Lecter feel, which, where's my man at? He's up there. Hannibal Lecter is is probably my favorite character from anything. I love Hannibal Lecter. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm sorry. But no, I'm not sorry. I love Hannibal Lecter. He's a great character. But they give him this very Lecter vibe. And I just think it's funny. And I don't know if it's more of a call out, because Brian Cox, if anybody knows, Manhunter was the first movie ever made that was taken from the Silence of the Lambs trilogy, which was before Silence of the Lambs was made, and it's Red Dragon, and it's just called Manhunter. Red Dragon is the first book in the series of the Silence of the Lambs, and it's very disturbing, and it's one of my favorite books, and it's very well done. And if you like Mindhunter on Netflix, I highly recommend reading the Silence of the Lambs trilogy. But Brian Cox plays Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter, and now he's kind of like, they treat Magneto, they give Magneto some Lecterish vibes, and they give Brian Cox some, is it Childress? Is that Dr. Childress vibes? And I liked that, and I didn't know if that was like a call out, but I liked it, because like I said, he played Hannibal Lecter and something else. But, yeah. Let's get back to the attack on the school, because like I said, just the chemistry between everybody is great, and the action is amazing. And can we just establish having Wolverine say bub is awesome? Because I didn't realize how many times he said it, and it's pretty great. And showing all the powers was awesome. And then this is what my notes say: stab, 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 kill, kill, kill. And like I said, I'm not condoning anything. I'm just saying the stakes are a lot higher when it's a human. Not a CGI creature, not a sky beam, not some bullshit. No, these agents are coming to attack kids in their beds, and Wolverine is slicing them to pieces, and these kids are running for their fucking lives. And it's just, I think that whole scene of Xavier's school getting sacked is amazingly done and scary and intense, and it really helps show everybody's powers, and it really shows, like, damn, Stryker, you are ruthless as a motherfucker. Stab, 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 kill, 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 awesome. Oh my god. And then I have Logan versus Stryker awesome, which is the monologue between them, and then Rogue's like, we can't leave him behind, and he comes and he puts the ice wall up, and he's like, come on, Logan, we gotta go. Oh, I want to talk about the comedy, too. Because the comedy doesn't feel forced. And it feels very organic. And like I said, I just don't know if all of these actors have very good chemistry, or it was directors, or what it was. But the comedy in this it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel shoved in. It doesn't, no offense, MCU, it doesn't feel like quip, quip, quip. We all need to quip. Quip Spider-Man, quip Doctor Strange, quip Iron Man, quip, 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 quip all around. It was like, no, like, these jokes are kind of more organic. Oh. And whatnot. And then they have an NSYNC joke. NSYNC was my first concert at Comerica Park. Yeah. And they played Bye Bye Bye, and it was awesome. Oh, and and it was funny when they went, this is Cyclops' car, and then he doesn't take he doesn't take his first claw out, he doesn't take his last claw out. Wolverine takes his middle claw out and then shoves it in the ignition, and he didn't need to do that. And it's like, the comedy is there, and it's just organic and funny, and then, like I said, it's just, I love it. Oh, and the monologue of Stryker talking about it, I'll never forget it to this day. I remember because like I said, this came out in what, 2001? 2002? I was born in 92, so I either saw this when I was 9 or 10, and I remember the Stryker monologue really bothered me, and when he, like, and it should bother you, when he talks about how his son was sent to Xavier for help, and Xavier was like, Stryker, this is like, I wanted it, and he was like, no, shut the fuck up, I'm talking, and then he goes on, and he starts talking about how his wife, because what his son could do was kind of like what Professor X could do, and it was telepathy and putting images into your mind and stuff like that, and so Stryker's son started doing that to Stryker's wife, his mother, and when Stryker says, my wife took a drill to her temple to bore the images out, like, you don't feel sympathy for a guy who's attacking children, but you're like, and trigger warning, I've been through my own shit, so I'm new to this, so I'm really trying to, like, tell people what's up, but it's like, there's a big difference between, like, a basic suicide attempt and taking a drill to your temple. Like, that is, oh my god, that's, it gives me chills just thinking about it. Where were we? Comedy, NSYNC, Stryker's wife, and that monologue. I'm like, that's some shit. That's some shit, dude. I still don't feel bad for you, but I love Brian Cox, and that's a great monologue. And, oh my god, the lines in this movie has some of the best lines. And when Rebecca Romijn, like a bad bitch, goes and drugs that guard and gets Magneto out, and Magneto says, oh, there's something different about you. Too much iron in your blood. And he sucks all the iron out and kills that guy. And then you can just see how much damage Magneto can do with 3 little marbles of, sorry, I'm getting chills. With 3 little marbles of metal. That's my dude. First and foremost, Ian McKellen's a boss. Michael Fassbender's a boss. I'd love to see them both in a multiverse type situation. I should just go get my cape. I really wanted to do cosplay for you guys yesterday, but I had to go to the hospital. I'm not okay. I'm really not. Like I said, I'm shocked. Thank God for ring lights, because I would not look like a human. Oh, and then we get to going to Bobby Iceman's house, and that bitch-ass brother calling the police on him. Get the fuck out of here, snitching on your family like that. Don't do that shit. And then we get back to Jean and Storm going to pick up Nightcrawler. And I love that he doesn't use Archangel Michael as a reference. I'm hardcore Irish Catholic. I grew up that way. I went to Catholic school for half my life. I'm not saying my religious views or anything on here. I'm just saying I know my Bible. And he doesn't use the Archangel Michael, which a lot of people do use because the Archangel Michael's a badass. And he doesn't use him. He uses the Archangel Gabriel, who is the messenger, who is like the one who in the Bible comes to Mary and says, yeah, you're knocked up, and then says, I should probably use better terms than that so I don't offend people. But, and then he says, and he comes to Joseph and says, don't be upset with her, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying, like, the Archangel Gabriel is, like, the nice one. And so I always like that Nightcrawler used that, and just the tattoos and everything. Oh my God, I love him. He's my favorite. He's over Magneto. He's my favorite. What are we at? Okay. And here's another great line. When him and Storm are talking, and she's talking about his tattoos, and he says the thing about the Archangel Gabriel, and she says, sometimes anger can help you survive. And he turns around and says, so can faith. And I'm like, oh, this is what I mean. X-Men are what we need right now. X-Men are what we need in our media right now. We really do. Like, we really need X-Men. Oh, and Magneto, after he gets out, stopping the jet in midair when it's crashing. Like, step back, bitches. I fucking love it. God, it's so good. And then I literally have yes smoking at the bottom. And I'm not condoning smoking. I'm just saying, like, yes, let Wolverine smoke his cigars. And if they take that away from him in the MCU, fuck you. Bub. Oh, and this is just me having some really great lines. When Nightcrawler goes to Mystique and says, you can look like anybody, and you can even interpret their voice, and she says, even their voice, and does the accent, and oh my God, it's so good. He says, why not stay in disguise? And she says, we shouldn't have to. And then she walks away. We don't need Jennifer Lawrence spelling it out for us, boring as hell, looking for a paycheck in the movie she was in. Rebecca Romijn did it in this Mystique, creepy, yet I believe in my convictions way, and she wasn't even an actress. She was just like a model back then, and she was, and just the way she says it with such conviction, like I said, it's like, we shouldn't have to. Point blank, period. That's how I feel. That's why I run with Magneto. What the fuck are you doing? Like, and that's it. That's all. And then she goes and tricks fucking Wolverine. It's awesome. Oh, the action at Lake Alkaline is amazing. I know and I liked that even back then they didn't whitewash a character who was Lady Deathstrike. And I don't want to butcher this name, so don't get mad at me. But Eureka Oyama, and she is the actress is Kelly Wu. Look at me, jackass. Like I said, fever. I'm literally reading it. It's Kelly Hu, and she's great. And I like that even back then they were like, no, we want characters that like besides Wolverine kinda, but Hugh Jackman was great, are these ethnicities and shit like that. And it was, and she was great. And I think she is of Chinese, Hawaiian, and shit. I don't know if I don't have it wrote down. And something else. She's like 3 different things. And she does. She looks great for who the character is. And I like that they didn't just say, no, just go and get a white person. And this was back in, like I said, the early 2000s. And I thought she was fucking great. And the fight between her and Wolverine is awesome. And then, when Magneto convinces Pyro to come with them, like I said, this movie is just so full of so many great one-liners and just gets the point about, like, I hate the third one. I'm not justifying the third one. And we'll talk about the animated series, which is the best. God, now I'm sweating. I need to lay back down. I slept like 17 hours on and off. It's a problem. But when Magneto literally looks over and just says, you are a god amongst insects. Don't let anybody tell you different. And it's just like, X-Men United. We need X-Men in our media. We do. Because they represent so much. And I'm glad that with Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're going to get this R-rated type of show like Daredevil. Because, like I said, some of these comic stories are not nice. They are hardcore, and I'm glad that they're that Disney, like even with The Mandalorian, and we got people getting their heads bashed in, and I was surprised that they allowed that. I was like, okay, Disney, I see you. Let's see what you do now. So I'm really hoping that with all that happening and them realizing their audience and realizing some of this needs to be violent. Some of this needs, like, if you want people to keep watching, like I said, I'm sick of, and that's why I love that little pocket of Winter Soldier, Falcon, Captain America, Black Widow. That's why I love that little pocket, because, like I said, they might have powers and they might be older or whatever, but they're just, like, trained. Like, Falcon don't have powers, Black Widow don't have powers, and that Manchurian Candidate type thing, like, I love that. I really do. And like I said, rewatching this, and seeing the stakes with humans, other humans attacking, not outside space, not somebody painted blue, not a CGI creature looking like a dog. No, we're fighting with each other, and that is, I feel like the stakes are so high, so much higher when you have that. And I respect Disney for what they've done with the MCU. I think it is a marvel, like, no pun intended, what they've done. I'm just saying, can we get back to some of the roots of these characters? And don't worry, I am going to talk about the motherfucking Snyder Cut, because we could talk about Batman for 17 hours on this goddamn channel is what we could do. Oh, and we are going to talk about Mystery Men, because oh my god, when I was sick today, that was me and my sister's favorite movie, and I love Watchmen. I do. And speaking of Watchmen, I know this is crazy because Dr. Manhattan knows everything, but one of my best friends, Jason, his sister's dogs are super sick, or one of them is very, very ill out of nowhere, and it happened on the anniversary of her losing her Bruce, which is named after Bruce Wayne, because Chastity is awesome, and this is Harley, after Harley Quinn, and she's awesome, and she's like me, and we don't like asking for things, but I am going to put I'm sorry, like I said, I'm sick as hell, I'm going to put the link for the donations for the surgery, because literally yesterday, out of nowhere, Harley got sick, and I know it's like not wanting to ask for help, and she's doing everything she can to get her dog help. So I'm going to put the link in the description for that, because, and going off the Watchmen thing, Jason reminds me of Dr. Manhattan. Not many people can remind you of Dr. fucking Manhattan, so that's Jason, and I love him, and I love his family, and I love Chastity, and she doesn't deserve this to be happening again. But I really want to do comparisons between Mystery Men and Watchmen, because Mystery Men is so good, but I need to go lay down. So I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Once we hit 100, I'm going full Frieza. I'm going to shave the sides of my head. I'm going to dye the rest purple. We're going to shave it and try and keep it white. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, I got a couple videos I need to edit and get out there. I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds. Like, share, subscribe. Please go and check out the link for donations for Harley, and I will really appreciate it. If you can't, you can't. I really understand, especially right now. Shit, I understand. They just laid me off for a week and then said come back, and now I'm sick as fuck and I can't work. So I totally understand if you can't give, but if I can put anything out there, even on my tiny little channel, I want to. So everybody stay safe out there, and like I said, I'll be doing some more Xmen and some more things, and I'll be talking about the Snyder Cut very soon. I might just film from my bed with Grogi tomorrow.